Street Fighter. The name alone brings up memories of smelly arcades and battles with the neighborhood kids so brutal that they ended friendships. Probably the biggest game in the history of fighting games, Street Fighter has released so many titles over the years that even the most hardcore fanboy could lose count. Street Fighter introduced the Alpha series in 1995, and though it was released after Street Fighter II, it's actually a prequel to it. Alpha 2 was released a year later in '96. Then Capcom decided to turn up the heat a bit. Street Fighter Alpha 3 hit the scene in 1998, bringing you more fighters, more levels, more moves, and continued to build on an already growing franchise. This is the Dreamcast version ported over in 1999. The game pretty much picks up where the last few Street Fighters left off. Now I'm pretty bad with the Street Fighter timeline, but I think Alpha 3 takes place either right before or right after Super Street Fighter II. Alpha introduced a lot of new characters to the series, and to some of the die-hard fans, it was a bit too much of a change jumping from the last Street Fighter II onto the Alpha series. What I really like about this installment is that they brought back a lot of the familiar faces. A lot of the fighters I grew up playing with as a kid return here in Alpha 3. Being a huge Guile fan, I was pretty pissed off when I got Alpha for my Saturn back in the day and he wasn't in the game, but he does make a return here, along with some others including Cammy, E-Honda, Blanca, Vega, DJ, Fei Long, T-Hawk, and Balrog. Not to mention the addition of Cody from Final Fight and a few new characters to the series. A lot of people complain about the bulkiness of the Dreamcast controller and the small D-pad, but I think it's a great controller. I love the way it handles these 2D fighters, and Street Fighter just feels smooth on the Dreamcast. Though I am a fan of the PlayStation controller, I felt it was horrible for these fighting games. I just couldn't pull the moves off when I needed to. That's why I pretty much stuck to buying fighters on the Dreamcast. Actually, that's pretty much the whole reason I bought a Dreamcast. The level designs are perfect. They look really good. Sometimes my ADD kicks in and I find myself just staring into the background while the AI just kicks my ass. Capcom always did a great job of being able to make you feel like you're in the environment. Some fighting games just had bad level design that only took away from the bout, but Street Fighter has always delivered, and the Alpha series has some of my favorite backgrounds to date. As you can see, this game offers a lot of gameplay modes. The final battle is pretty cool, as you can select your fighter and skip instantly to the final boss of the game. Dramatic Battle is a co-op style mode where you actually team up with a friend to take on the AI. There's just a lot to do in this game. This game looks pretty close to flawless on the Dreamcast. The characters' sprites are a bit more cartoonish than years past, but they look really good. One thing that always bothered me in the Alpha series was how they puffed up M. Bison. He just looks way too buff. You know, that was one of the cool things about Bison in Street Fighter II. He wasn't a huge monster freak, you know, he was just kind of a normal-sized guy, but he was powerful enough to be the final boss of the game. Those pre-match animations are great. The music in this game is horrible. No, actually, the music's perfect, just like the rest of this game. I can't seem to find one thing wrong with this game, seriously. I love this game. It's Street Fighter bliss. It's hard for me to find a fighting game that keeps me playing like this one does. I remember the summer I got this game, I don't think I left the house once. Even getting the footage for this review, I found it hard to turn the damn thing off. Ken and Ryu are probably still my favorite characters in Street Fighter. It just feels so easy to dominate with them. They're quick, but still have a powerful enough moveset with far-reaching, easy-to-pull-off moves. At the end of the day, this game just feels timeless. I could play this game 60 years from now and still love it. And that can really be said about most Street Fighter games. I've been playing since Street Fighter II, and as long as they keep releasing them, I'll keep playing. Street Fighter Alpha 3 is worth every penny, and if you own a PlayStation, Saturn, or Dreamcast and you enjoy fighting games, do yourself a favor and get this game.